So today I'm going to talk about Sino-Russian ties, and my name is Nan Yijian. So Putin paid a visit to Beijing in 2016, and he met with the Chinese President Xi Jinping, and they agreed upon a lot of policies, include trade, energy, and construction. For instance, they agreed upon the Russian and Chinese railway construction, and they pushed forward their economic coordination. So, how the geopolitical factors shape the biological relationship between Beijing and Moscow? First, let's look at the geographical positions of Russia and China. Russia is one of the largest countries in the Eurasia realm, and China locates at the southeast border of Russia. So it is obvious that these two countries has a very close geographical position, and thus it must lead to close political relationship due to their geographical features. So the history of Sino-Russia relationships actually begins very long before the dissolve of Soviet Union. However, to lead into our topic of the relationship today, it is very important to re-examine the relationship both before and after the dissolve of Soviet Union. So after it dissolved in 1991, China and Russia has officially built a relationship, and in 1992, it is called a good neighborly and mutually beneficial. 1994, it became strategically partnership of coordination, and in 1999, it became joint construction of nuclear power station. And their close relationship begins with a very similar communist leadership style. In Russia, it is Joseph Stalin, and in China, it is Mao Zedong. And it is obvious, like before the dissolve, the Soviet Union has a greater area, and while China is really close to their southern border. And because China has a very limited economic and military power at the mid 20th century, Russia helped China a lot with its finance as well as political power. And so their relationship quickly solid up after 1990s. And in terms of their military cooperation, after 1990, China accounted for 25% to a half of Russia's foreign military sales. So, like, China brought a lot of military weapons as well as planes from Russia, while Russia is the second largest military power in the world. And since 2003, Russia and China has conducted more than 20 times military exercise. And in terms of its economic trade, both Russia and China are in this organization called BRICS. And also, both of the countries exchange goods a lot. For instance, China takes account of 10% of Russia's export, and there's more and more Chinese investment both in public sectors and private sectors to Russia. It grows from $1.3 billion in 2007 to 12 billion by 2020. And there's a large amount of Chinese foreign direct investment to Russia since 2014. And energy takes a large part of the economic transaction, and it is a large part of Sino-Russia relationship as well. Putin really emphasized the export of oil and natural gas in Russia because it is like the first, the largest export in Russia, and it between Russia and China, there's a crude pipeline completion in 2010, and China became number one petroleum importer in 1993 and largest overall energy consumer in 2010. However, it is also a source of conflict between Russia and China because China also built a strong relationship with other former Soviet Central Asian republics like Tajikistan with great oil and gas partnerships. So this is an overall view of the Sino and Russia ties.